Hello, hello. Sorry about that. I had a little kerfuffle. I apologize. I need to put my phone on recording mode too. How is everybody this fine Monday morning? Started a little bit early to let people get a chance to jump on before start time. Yes, we are married. Those are the best days for me though. Good morning, Donna. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know that mine was kind of a little bit of both. The beauty that was part to be part of that bead drop this weekend from Vlad and Tammy was absolutely amazing. I didn't see a piece that I didn't want, and and quite a few that I did that I got. So all of the pieces were so beautiful. It was exciting to me that I didn't get the preview of all of them, as the ones for Sunday were coming out of the kiln on Saturday. So they were photographing them, getting them ready to go up. It was so much fun. They were so blown away by all of the support and names that they remembered from the live stream itself. So it was great. They messaged me this morning, which is evening for them, and said the sale went a bit above my expectations. Big smiley face. Um, and they said they were so thankful for all of the help and for all of you guys showing up, which is amazing. Tammy does like the idea of doing a misfit sale. Once they get all of the invoicing for the bin items, so there's two different ways to purchase for them. If you are um the first person to comment on one of those, that set is already completed. So that person will be invoiced right away for those ones, and those are shipped out. Any of the MTO or made to order options, those will be created, and it can take 3 to 4 months out, possibly longer, because he did have a few more MTOs than he was expecting, but again, pleasantly so. Once those are out, him and Tammy are gonna go back through any misfits, or maybe ones that didn't sell that they still have. And then we will do a misfit sale here on our channel, which would be so fun. Morning, sweet Rosanna. I'm so proud of you for just doing it live. You did great. Um, if you can't get that knot undone, yes, doing a third knot right there will work. I think that it is smart to knot with the hand that you're most comfortable with. So absolutely flip it. The only thing that I saw that happened on the other side is that the loop was falling off of your tweezers. But when you got going on the other side, you kind of realized that and adjusted. So you did so great, and I'm so happy for you. Hello, Beth. Beth is back alive and everything. Oh, woohoo, good. Because I know it would have driven you nuts. I know it would have, as I know you. Um, I don't have anything prepared for today. I apologize. I don't know what I did, but when I this is probably TMI, and I apologize. When I take a shower, I have to sit on the side of the tub to do so. Um, and I must have been like putting too much pressure on my bad leg or something, because all of a sudden it stopped communicating with my brain that it was there, and so my body fell forward. And I bumped my head on my handicap bar, funnily enough. Um, so I was taking things easy, going slow. I'm here. We're going to do a simple stringing project. I'm okay. Everything is good. Don't worry about it. I'm not seeing spots or anything like that. I just hit my head. And it wasn't hard. I had like the itty bittiest bump but that's all. And I was icing it. So I wasn't preparing for you guys. If you watched Beading Besties last night, if you didn't, I'll show you the project we did. I unboxed my dollar bead box, and then we put together this little necklace and a pair of earrings. But there is a change, which I did put in the description of the video. After the fact, I didn't like how close this was to like the very bottom of my earlobe. So I used 2 jump rings, have to use 2 to still keep this forward presentation. Looks like I'm gonna need to make this one a little bit smaller so it stays centered. But I had to do 2, otherwise the earring would lay this way and I want it to lay this way. So they're a little bit longer. I wanted to show you the added change. If you don't mind them being right, like the top of them hitting right at the bottom of your earlobe, then you will be okay. So, and then I just present the ear side to the front, and you never know that the back side is completely flat from the front view of these earrings. So they're very pretty. There were a lot of cute things in here. So you saw I pulled this out. I'm not sure that I'm going to use this, but I thought I would do knotting for a split second, but then Rosanna jumped in and just did her knotting live. So that's exciting. Oh, hopefully the dogs don't get barky. But I was thinking that like that would look really pretty. The little round beads they sent, if I remember correctly, are a little more, yeah, see, these ones read more teal. So I figured we could do something with that little thing. I don't know, we might add in a little like XOXO on one side or both sides. I don't know. I'm more of a pattern girl. So yeah. I have a hard time, and I should be brave like Rosanna is. So we will see and try it live. But I love these little beads. I think they're really pretty and dainty and would go perfect with any of the pinks, would look beautiful. But if I wanted to do the deeper blue color, it would be really cute. And I was thinking that I would do like maybe the name on one side and then XOXO on the other side, and it would be a cute little set. It'd be a set I'd wear, but if you want to call it kitty, it's kitty. I'm okay with it. There are littles in my life that I enjoy creating for, and I actually have been asked to do more kid designs because as beaders, sometimes it's hard to make the switch to doing kid jewelry, to which I say you don't need to switch your mindset. If you're worried about using like expensive gemstones on little kid jewelry, that's fine. I would recommend that you use a screw clasp if they're little for choking reasons. That's the only thing I use for Selena, is a screw clasp. And then outside of that, just teaching them that jewelry is the last thing you put on and why, and that when you take it off, it's good to rub it with a microfiber cloth to get any of your natural body odors off of it before you put it back in your jewelry box. And the younger that kids are taught that, the more it becomes, that's the way they learn to take care of their jewelry, so that when they get older and get more like not just plated jewelry, but like like the full gold and everything else, they're going to take care of that better than they would if that's the first type of jewelry they receive. Because you can't teach a teenager anything. You really can't. Anything you tell them they need to do, they want to rebel and not do because that's just the, teenage mind. I was much the same, though I had real reason to not. But anyways, as I was saying, if they start learning very young how to take care of their jewelry properly, then when you do buy them the pieces that are a couple $100 or even more expensive than that, they're going to take care of it even better, I would say, because of the lessons that they learned as a small child. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. Did I see? Oh, hi, Barbara. Barbara just popped in. Okay. So that's it. And also, guys, please just remember to keep all suggestions expectation free. After all, whatever I make is going to be like I don't know how to say that, so I just don't say it. Thought I'd clean the road tonight again. If I do decide to do this for Selena, I will have to. I don't have any gold screw clasps at the beginning at the moment, and these all have gold, and all of the letters are gold. So the teal is going to end up being like, oops, the spacer bead, which is perfect because the deep pink in here is like a perfect match for the darker pink on the wings. So it'll be really pretty, really simple. I will probably just use, I just had a baggie of them out. Where did you put them down at? I literally just had a little baggie of my favorite little flower spacers, and now I don't see it. Goodness, goodness. I have these ones. Trying to pull the cork off without like breaking it. As I said, if I do make this one for Selena, I won't be able to finish it off completely, but I will show you what I'm thinking as far as it goes. Where are my itty bitty ones? Hold that down. These were in a jar, that's why they're not in like the little cap. I could also pull out. I think that's one of my little spacer thingies right there. Oops, sorry guys. I gotta remember this isn't on a straight arm yet. I apologize. I'm sorry if it bounces a little bit. What was I looking for before I hit the camera? I found my bead caps. I found my itty bitty spacers that are smaller than these, so I think they'll look pretty on either side of it. I need to get some stringing wire. So, don't know if I have enough of that to double strand it if necessary. This is very cute. I don't want to start with kink wire to begin with. I'm gonna have to weight that and pull it down because it is kink. So I will pull the feather off. This is a closeout that that Rosanna received as a free gift that she then sent to me. It is gold color. I will tell you that the gold color comes off, which is why I'm guessing they have it. There's a little divot in this color too. So that would need to be a bracelet, not a necklace. It's for a little, so it doesn't need to be too long. So I think I cut about 18 inches. Let's see here. So, well, we have that faster. Let's see here. Well, I think I get about 20 inches. So either way, we should have plenty. This will have to be attached on using a oh my gosh, why can I not word today? Using a jump ring. I promise I'm good, guys. It's just Monday. Okay, let's see. Where are my oval jump rings? Did they get put away on the wrong one? I don't understand where they are. They were on another one. Okay. If you don't know, I like to attach. That's gonna have to be. I like to use like the smallest one possible, but I might have to use a larger one for this because the loop is so far down. So I forgot to reset my desk before I started. So things I was looking for are not here, and I didn't understand why. So let me get those away. So I know where everything is. Okay, so we're gonna take this oval jump ring and see if this one is large enough to where the wings are gonna rub up against the beads on either side of it. So let me see. I think if we started with the small beads, we'd be okay. We started with the teal beads in. Okay, so that hangs nicely. Alrighty. Speaking of, you can either start with the teal or the gold. I think I'm going to start with a gold on either side. Like I said, this will be a stringing project. Once you figure out the pattern, I got to figure out how many of these I have. Two. And there are like 3 left, which could be for an earring or whatnot. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. What did I get? 2, 4, 5. That's 10. This is 10. So we can do 11 on either side, and then we have our itty bitty bolts. Okay. So this is what I'm thinking. We're just gonna go gold, teal, gold, and then we'll put on our bead caps and put on are 6mm rotary. I will tell you that I did have to ask, like, so, like my sister. I told her, like, because she didn't want to let the girls wear the jewelry I make them, and I'm like, no, they need to learn. So she now lets them wear it to school. But at first, she was like, no, they can wear it for special occasions, and I'm like, I didn't send it for special occasions. There's a special occasion, I'll make them jewelry, like dance or something like that. But I still want them to be allowed to wear the jewelry that I make them. So yes. Did you mean to put on the 17, sweetie? We will absolutely keep you in our prayers. Hello, Renee. Renee hit 1,000 subscribers last night. Everybody give her a round of applause. So excited for you, girl. So excited for you. Hello, Anita. Okay, so the 17th. All right, I will make sure, and I know you're going things with your mom as well. You're in my prayers, sweet pea. I promise. Grief is a hard thing, and it doesn't fix itself overnight. It takes quite a while. But I promise that you will get to the point where the mention of her name brings a smile to your face before tears to your eyes. I know right now it's probably the opposite of that. Oh, I was gonna pull out my the election agate, but I'm not sure. These rhodonite might be a little too big. I might need to find a 4mm option. These might not be 6mm. That's the problem. I may be thinking about their 6mm and their 8mm. I'm pretty sure they're 6. They are 6.6mm. That's why they are not a true 6mm. Um, so I don't know. Do you guys think that they're too big for the little beads in between? I feel like they're too small. It's too much too small. If these were like a 4mm, I think it would be better. So let's see if I have anything right here that I could do. That's not 4mm. It's not the teal color. I wanted to draw out the teal. Um, I grabbed these, but this is definitely green. It's not okay. I wanted to pull out center colors. These are all these would, but then it would be a really big. The rhodonite would become the small bead. But these are really pretty. They look like branches on the side. So let's see what that looks like with I'd have to take it off the other side. These are too big. This is going to be a design for They can't wear big chunky beads, but I don't want it to automatically look like it's um like play dress up. Let me see, what do I have right? I have 6 millimeter. Oh, there. Okay, it's gonna get bright for a second. I'm gonna have to turn on the overhead light or just turn this up brighter so I can see over here. Real quick, let me see if anything pops out at me. Over here. I might have to save that till I can find some the right shade of green. And we can come back to that tomorrow. Let me see what else is in the dollar bead box or just up here. Okay, turn this down so I don't blow like the people in Cocoon. All right, this is gonna have to wait till tomorrow when I can find some more appropriate teal to go with it, which is fine. Let's turn this up real quick and start again. I apologize for that. I did not realize. I thought they were 6 millimeter and would look nice with the 3 millimeter, but they're closer to 7 millimeters. So what's it called? A little big. What's this over? It's in the jar. Okay, so I'm gonna put these up, see if I can't find a better teal to go in between those, and we'll hit that again tomorrow. Okay, so sorry, every time I touch that cord, I know it makes you shake. I promise I'm not doing it on purpose. I'll be very happy when the the steel metal pole comes. Because it's not supposed to do that as much, so. It doesn't look bad, it just looks a little too much. Everybody tell Renee congratulations. I'm so excited for her. I love the butterfly, yes. I actually have it in more than just that color. I just don't remember. Ooh, I think I have some of these in a teal. That will go perfect. So I will look for those. These are the unseen and unbothered options. Thought that I would take Brazilian's Q and also put together a few unseen, unbothered options for Miss Randy Brown. I have this. It came to me labeled zebra jasper, but I think it looks more red line jasper. Personally, especially if you look at the other one that came with it. Yes, there's the pink and whatnot, but like I even pulled this out to like check it. I guess it's zebra jasper. You could do something with this That's like the focal. And kind of pop these up top. I have the gray and cream crystals. Ooh. And I just thought of these that would make beautiful earrings to go with them. Yeah, those would make some pretty earrings. Okay, I know that I have my. You could also use garden quartz with this, which is what I'm sure that Randy intended when she put it with her. These are pretty and also go with them. These were from the companion bundle a few weeks ago. I saw that mine is supposed to be delivered by Amazon this month, so hopefully I get it before the 15th, like I have been previous months. Okay, those are pretty. Those can be the large bead. And then I have 4mm red line beads around here somewhere. They better still be out. I'm gonna be frustrated if I just set that. If not, I can use something else as a spacer, and I'll just use the lighter of the two. Because I do have some really pretty glass ones. I think I like this with the darker. Where am I? Oh, Brittany, I'm so happy for you. Yeah, I knew I had these close to hand. So if we use the smaller red line jasper in the middle, Barbara, yeah, exactly. We got you. Please don't worry. Then, if we want to use the larger beads like this for a bracelet, we can. I kind of like the iridescent quality of these glass beads. I think they're very pretty and will like, I don't know, it just makes it kind of vintage feeling to me. Like glass beads from a long time ago. And then the red line jasper has always reminded me of like old vintage like paper or whatever. That's what I see from it. I don't see like, I guess you could see the web consistency. And we could put these. So I don't think I want to use these. Not filled. I think I want, which of the focal should we go with? The one that's more pink or the one that has more gray to it? I can't decide. Oh, am I too far away? I can push the camera down further and I'll just take it off the screen while I do so. I was just trying to lay stuff out to like to figure out what the pattern was going to be. I had more of these, should I need them? They're just so pretty. Yeah, I do have them in 10mm as well. If we wanted to use those as a secondary focal. I want to find some like really stellar ones. So I'm going to pour them back out for just a second, but I will pick them up when I start doing the actual, like, these two are very just like lined, whereas like these two have more of the deeper color. I think I like the deeper, like the ooh, that one has gold in it, which is really pretty. Let's see if I have one more that has a touch of gold to it, which they're gemstones, so they're gonna be sisters, not twins. Okay, does not appear I have. Oh wait, this one has gold. Okay, I'm using, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna use those two big, larger ones like those. Oh, it went to your daughter's house? Oh, I hope mine gets here today. If it does, you will know because I will put up an unboxing. And I don't ever put the box contents in my thumbnail. I always just try to come up with a thumbnail that goes with the like the theme of the box so that I don't have to go back and change it later. Some of these 8mm, oh, you guys can't see the 8mm. Some of the 8mm ones are really pretty, but I want to use the 8mm glass beads because they deserve their moment as well. They're very pretty. So, I still can't decide which one. So I need your help. Do I go with the darker one with like the more of the like lines available, or the lighter one and let the glass be the darker tone of the necklace? I'm leaning towards, it goes two ways because either I go so that they look like the secondary focal or not. Yours is delivered half an hour ago. Okay, you like the darker one. Oh, hi Grisha. Renee hit 1,000 subscribers last night on her YouTube channel. That's why. So, that is why we are congratulating her. Now you have me curious if mine is on its way. I don't understand the Amazon. How do you look up Amazon tracking? I've never been able to do that. There, shipping, tracking, Amazon shipping. Here's my number, track. Oh no, that was an old email, according to Amazon. Mine says it's 3 days ago. I don't understand. Oh, it's showing delivered. No, it's saying this shipment is over 45 days old. We don't keep tracking details after 45 days. So who knows? I usually get it around like this time of the month when they use Amazon. All right, so we will email. Yes, I hit that. It wasn't working. It's driving me crazy. I click on it and it doesn't show. Yours came up on informed delivery. I don't think mine is doing that. It's, but I could be wrong. I'm gonna sign in. It's gonna make me. No, it's gonna send me a verification to my email. Let's see. I just said that. I messed it up. I appreciate the care that they give with like all the login and second factor and all that, but I just went through all that to log in to then try to go to inform delivery and it's making me like shipping all over again. There we go. Yeah, it's not showing up on my inform delivery. So, and the code in my email is saying that it is old and it was delivered more than 45 days ago. So that's where we are with all of that. It's all right. It'll get here when it gets here, right? I'm just happy it's coming from um through Amazon this time. All righty, then I think I might pull. I might still use some of those gold, but I do have these itty bitty daisy spacers. I have asked Bernie. I sent him an email or a text over a week ago asking him to see if he can get more of these and get them in all the colors and possibly maybe even some bigger sizes, but at least for these sets. Oh yeah, we use that for that one. We need to log another link of this. A little bit longer than the other one. Yeah, I see why they use this as free gift. That would never meet soft flex quality control, even though it's like part of their Econoflex, they still wouldn't be okay with their line having that much of the color like blobbed on right there, and it tends to come off. Like when I pull it through a print tube, it'll all of a sudden look off. But okay, so we need to add this. Do we want to do it with a big bronze something? Just smaller. And I'm going to use oval ring. That's the squeak I remember from my childhood. Switch it down just a little bit before I open it so it's matched up. I'm hoping this is a little long now. This one might not be big enough. Yep, that's not gonna be big enough. It's okay. I have one more bigger oval, and then if that isn't long enough, I'll have to go with a larger round one, which is fine. These ones I like. They came, oops, sorry. They came kind of already squished more. and popping up in the center. So I've got to figure out where I got these ones, if these ones came from Randy or if I ordered these off of Amazon, but I will let you know one way or another as soon as I find out. Oh, that might be a hindrance for me right now. Whatever they are very strong. So they'd be perfect for a veil. Okay. I got them to meet up, but as you can see, they're too narrow. Oh, they're not quite met up yet. Wait a second. That just went the way I wanted to. That's why I don't use their own pliers. They tend to fall off. Yeah, the bottom loop is too narrow for these. I wish I had these ones in this size because these are more round. Squeak, squeak. So we're gonna have to go to the round options. These are slightly thicker than the next size I have. Put down those are in place. These ones are just barely too small, and I don't have the in between size right here, though I do remember that I had like a mixed finding gathering at one point or another. Don't bring up. Let's pick up my videos. I'm not sure where that grouping went, so we're just gonna go to the next size, which is the 7mm. If I still don't like it, I'll just make my own. I would save a lot of time altogether. I would. I feel like this one is gonna look too big, but I could be wrong. That's fine. It's fine. So we'll pop this on. Looks. I understand why Rosanna prefers to use the oval because I have found that my round ones, they will look completely closed and then you go and put them on the ring and they're just not anymore. So if that happens again, I'm gonna make a smaller one because this is fine enough that it could go right through an opening. So, and obviously I can't use the gold right at the center because maybe This larger gold spacer piece here. I do. I'm going to see if these fall under the hoop. Or if these will just hold it up off of the line, because that would be my preference. If not, I have the next size up from this. Okay, can they go underneath? If they really try, but mostly it just holds it up, which is what I want it to do. So we can then put on a red line jasper. Okay. Now we go to the red line jasper. And then we're going to go to our itty bitties. Or actually, no. I want to see what I think of the dark browns on either side of the red line jaspers. So I'm going to put the itty bitty golds on either side for the rest of the necklace. I just sent that flying across, which I don't want to do because I love these little itty bitty bead caps. They're my favorite. Yeah, that looks great. So we have the larger one on over here, but then on the other side, we're going to have bead cap. So I just have to decide which bead cap I like best on these. I always err on the side of a smaller bead cap, smaller than the bead cap. Hi, Georgina. Oh, okay. I'm gonna zoom this out real quick. And while I do, I'm not gonna have it down the screen. Sorry. Or I will just move this the camera slightly further down. Not quite that far. Okay. I'm gonna let it stop wiggling. Or I put it back at the full screen. There we go. Now you can see down here. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Renee. I appreciate you. Carolyn, maybe if you have time this afternoon, we can go over the moderating stuff, see if it's something you think you can do. If you have plans, we can do it another day though. Okay, as I was saying, I err on the side of a smaller bead cap because I find that like the 8mm bead caps on an 8mm bead cover up much of it. I don't like those. Mostly because the holes are really big. I actually got this to use on leather. So we will not use it. I have really simple little foil ones that are, I think, smaller. I will not. Yeah, I like that. Okay, small filigree ones it is. I feel like they match. Oh my goodness gracious. The squishy was talking to Brock yesterday, and we do this thing because she was throwing a fit about one thing or another while we were on the phone. She just kept going like this and would smack stuff, including her mom. And so I started going, oh my goodness, whenever she does that. So now she'll do that to like get my attention and for me to say that specifically. Oh, that's right, you do have him. All right, let me know, sweetie, and we'll go for it, whichever works out best for you. Anyway, so she was talking to Brock on video chat yesterday while I was taking a much needed nap and kept doing it and was getting so frustrated with him. And Jerica had like gone in the other room or wasn't paying attention to something. And she comes back and she's like, Brock, you just need to say, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And he goes, yeah, no, I'm not saying that. So it was kind of funny. My son, much like me, might not always know exactly what he likes, but he knows what he doesn't like. And I wish that I had his level of I am who I am and that's who I am kind of thing. Like the old um Popeye song from the movie that Robin Williams was in. I am what I am, and I am what I however he says it. But that's an artist we lost way too soon. But we're lucky for the time we had him, considering the depths of the depression that he dealt with for his entire life. So that's a loss I cried for actually. He was just like he was the voice of so many of like my childhood movies like Batty and Ferngully and Aladdin and as the genie, and he was in the Popeye movie and Jumanji. All of those came out when I was a child, so like that was a hard or Mrs. Doubtfire. Goodness, he was in a lot of movies during my childhood. Yes. That were family based, which was um amazing. So that was a loss. I One of the deepest ones I felt when it came to like an actor or actress. That was a hard one. So Morgan Mindy, yes. Yes, yes, yes. He was a youngin when he was on Mark and Mindy though. But it was that show that I think opened up directors and producers' mind towards let him do his thing. He doesn't need to be scripted. Some of the best moments in his movies weren't scripted. That was an off the cuff, and as long as his co-stars could keep from just dying laughing because they weren't expecting it. Some of those are like the prettiest moments. Or what is it? Where they stand on the desk. He was an English teacher. He was an English teacher. Oh my gosh, why can I not think of the movie? Yeah, darn spell check. He's like, wait, what? Oh my goodness. Good Morning Vietnam. He was in Oh Captain, My Captain. That's what they say. That was a movie that made me cry. Although there were parts of Miss Doubtfire that made me cry because I dealt with custody issues as a child, so one things that I didn't understand until I became an adult. And of course, my biological father threw a fit about not being more of a part of my life, but he didn't ever do anything to get more. So yeah. You know which movie I mean, right? Oh my goodness. Oh yes, Patch Adams. That was an amazing with the red nose. Another one from growing up. And then the movie that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck wrote together. He was amazing in that movie. Yeah. Man, it's gonna drive me crazy, but I don't want to stop again and look up his MB whatever his like the Actors Guild shot. I'm trying to think. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. That story was so beautiful with him as the psychologist. Good Will Hunting, yes, that one. Patch Adams, and now I just cannot remember the one. Okay, I have to look it up. It's gonna drive me crazy. Right. Dead Poet Society. That's what it is. Dead Poet Society. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful example of the fact that children are simply small adults. And when they're taught in a way and are respected for being who they are at that moment, instead of like trying to baby them and like, I had to have somebody tell, and I'm not saying that I didn't do this. I had somebody, the best advice I ever got regarding, well, one of the two, regarding parenthood, is Heather, when are you going to trust your parenting? Because wouldn't you rather they still be home and have that soft place to fall as an older teen than to send them out in the world and then they make mistakes, but they're over 18 now and they could have bigger consequences kind of things. And that was one of the best advice I ever got was you need to trust your parenting. And as soon as I did, a lot of the problems I had with my then teenagers settled down because when they felt trusted, they were more apt to do what needed to be done to keep that trust. So like by the time my daughter was a senior, she didn't really have curfews. I just asked that if she went from one place to another to let me know that, hey, I'm leaving here. Hey, we're going here. Hey, we got here safe, mom, kind of thing, because it was never about me not trusting them. It was a safety thing. So it was some of the best advice I ever got. So, Aladdin, Robots, Penguin movie, yeah. Fern Gully is Night of the Museums, Mrs. Doubtfire, yes, the best. Yeah, he did so many movies. And I made sure after he passed away that we like did a month-long Robin Williams movie like extravaganza where every night we sat as a family and watched one of his movies. They had never heard of Fern Gully because his larger like Disney roles got a lot of the attention. And Fern Gully's was like one of his first animated movies, but it was a character where he was allowed to be him and create what he saw with the character. And it turned out to be so much more than like that whole song that he sings in the movie when he's talking about himself and like the little zzz happens. He wrote that entire song. It was not part of the original movie. he just started off the cuff singing it, and so then they went back and had it written up, and it became part of the movie. So his Broadway special is one of my favorite like comedy specials of all time. I laugh so hard at that still, and I've seen it a gazillion times. So. All right, I'm going to pause on this side and go to the other side because although I have more of these, I don't want to like run out of them. But I'm really liking the way this looks. I think the touches of the dark bronze just look so pretty. So, wait, what? You live near him when you live in San Francisco? That one of his favorite things was to pop in to comedy clubs unexpected. And of course, if they see him and he's willing to go up, they're gonna let him go up. And people talk about those moments with such like reverence in their voice, but like a fun reverence, But they talk about like younger comedians talk about being on the circuit and them getting to witness that and see like his raw humor and how it made them better comedians. So it's just a lot of fun. I love the conversations we have as we sit here and feed. I really, really, really did. Like, I really like it. Exactly. Trust your gut. Yeah, like I said, as long when she was allowed to be out later and later, which she was never out. She didn't party. None of my kids did. They didn't party. They didn't do any of that. And it got to the point where um it wasn't like it wasn't making me mad that they like feared it or not even feared. I don't know the right way to put that. It was the word disappointed. If I said I'm disappointed by that choice, that killed them. They couldn't. But if I was mad, I could yell at them for an hour and they'd just look at me like, okay, mom, okay, mom. And that's when I realized, like, that's the respect that I hope to instill upon them. And so then, like, the getting mad, like, happened fewer and far between because they like the accountability. My youngest was the only one who bought a car and even got his license during high school. And he saved up $1,500 and he found this really nice Subaru for 3,000, and he was afraid he was gonna lose it. And so he asked if I would match what he had saved if he paid me back. And I said yes. That kid worked every shift he could get at the senior citizen home he worked at that summer, and he paid that $1,500 back in under 2 months. And I kept telling him, you don't have to do this. Go have fun. It's summer. And he did all of that after he had me paid back. But that's just, you know, He's very good with his money. He was the kid who, listened to TED Talks and financial podcasts and everything else while he was still in high school. It's just who he is. And he's very different than his older brother, where Brock doesn't really like if someone doesn't like something he does that he does like, he really doesn't care. As Maddox puts it, there is zero fucks given with Brock. That's just how it is. But if it's something from his siblings or us as his parents, it's very different. He's very different. But as far as people that he doesn't know or don't truly know him, he could care less what they think of him. So it's just Maddox, on the other hand, is always like trying to outdo that and like better himself, and which is a wonderful trait to have, but sometimes I worry that he cares too much. I forgot about my secondary vocal, so I might have to take a couple repeats off over here to put it back in, but I just realized that. But yeah, Maddox is always trying. I mean, he is the head trainer at the sports club he works at. And he doesn't work at a gym. He works at like a sports club that has like a bar outside and um, blah, blah, like, I don't know what they're called, like studios or whatever, where you can go in and just hit the ball up against the wall over no courts, racquetball courts. There are some semi-pro tennis things they put on. So it's a not like people. He trains the president of the main hospital up there. Like those are his people. So he also trains a financial advisor. So they kind of. Oops, why did I do that? I don't know, but I really like the way that looks. Uh, that looks so pretty. You guys, am I gonna do it? No, I'm gonna stick to my pattern, but get ready because that will be in a design sooner rather than later because I love that little. Maybe I'll do that. Oops, I'll do that before I do my secondary focal. I really like the gold on either side of the dark brown, which these are bronze. These are some little bronze spacers that I found off of Etsy, but they also look very pretty. Uh, as like a gold spacer, they work, but they are actual bronze. So for them being 2 millimeter spacers, they have quite some heft to it, as Amy Campbell likes to say. Have some heft to them, just like my gold filled. They're about as heavy as my gold filled um, spacers. Okay. I'm wondering how far to go up. Probably one more, and then I'm going to do the larger bead at the secondary focal spot. What I like to do. I'm going to put this on, and this on. Then I'm either going to just do the gold filled spacer again, or do that little over the ball. So maybe instead. Let's put the other side on. And see what we think of this as the break in the pattern. You'll have to let me know what you think. Oh wait, I didn't do it. I didn't put one on the inside. On the outside of the. What do you guys think of that? I'm debating going back and adding the other bead cap though. I can't decide. I think I am gonna go back and add the bead cap. Because they are the filigree ones, they're thin, so it's not like they're going to be overwhelming, but a thicker bead cap may have been. Okay, and then we're gonna go daisy spacer, donut, big bead. But I am going to put another one of these little ones inside the donut to kind of help keep it centered. It should hide right inside. Yep, it did. That's what I want to do. Just so that, well, let me make sure it's, oh, it's not fully inside. Okay, it's all right. It's okay. Only fine once everything is on and it's glass. I like creating a little stack. Here, I like to create stacker. You could make some Rosanna. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yeah, I had to come to Jesus moment myself a few years ago where Heather, your opinion on things mean a lot to your children, but if they're afraid to come and talk to you about something, they're never going to hear my thoughts or opinions. So I had to make a change in the way that I responded to them because they are adults. And as young adults, of course, they're like, I'm an adult, you can't tell me what to do anymore, kind of thing. So I had to like change the way I approach them. And I'll tell you, all three of my children noticed right away that and we're like, wait, what? Really? That's all you're gonna say? Yep, that's all I'm gonna say. And but they all noticed. And it has only been a positive thing within my relationship with them. So I was married at 18. Jericho was born 2 months before I turned 19. I had a hysterectomy at 24. I had 3 kids in between 18 and 24. They all have at least 2 years between them. But like there's 2 years and 3 months between Jericho and Brock, but there is 2 years and 9 months between Brock and Matt. So Maddox is our surprise blessing from God. I found out I was pregnant with him 2 days before Steve was getting a vasectomy, which he promptly canceled and said, I'll do it when we're both out of commission, which he stuck to, but yeah, it was funny to me. Oh, wait. See, now I went and put a bead cap where it didn't belong, and now I'm wondering, should I put filigree bead cap? This one is a different one. There's a darker gold. If I do, I have a few in here that are a bigger size. So let me see. They're not. Maybe it's just that one, and I'm incorrect. They didn't have multiples. It's fine. You can use the same filigree for those. Ah, I like the way that it looked. It pulled out the like gold color. I don't like it with the donut. Nope. Nope. I don't like it. If I was just doing this stone, it would look beautiful. I don't like it with the donut. It seems to like it sunk in or something and it wasn't supposed to be there. So it's not gonna be there. But I love having these conversations with you ladies. I really do. It's beyond the beating, and sometimes we need that. We need a community. And just because we met each other within the beading world, I look to you ladies for things outside the beading world oftentimes. We never stop being mothers, we just parent for the next age. So, like, it just means things. But so this little one has a you're not going to use this sort of stuff. That one had a piece of metal stuck to it. Okay, now I have to get back to my pattern. I have to remind myself what it was. And then I will do a few more of the repeat. I will fix the other side. And then we'll be done for the day. Sorry, it took me a minute. I will find some teal beads because I think that's a really cute idea. And as I said, the sooner you teach children how to properly take care of jewelry, the more ingrained it is into them and their habits. So they will, if you teach them to take care of the pieces that have plated metals in them, when you start buying them gold filled or just gold jewelry or sterling silver or whatever, they're going to take better care of it because that's what they've been doing. They've been doing a lot more for the more humbler pieces. So when they get the more expensive ones, they take, my daughter takes a very good care of the jewelry I make her. She has it all in a jewelry box. When she ran out of room, she got a bigger jewelry box. Now she keeps her everyday items in one and rotates the rest of them through as she goes through like one season of life, or maybe she likes more simple or the more complicated, but she goes through phases. So okay. What I kind of like what I did last night, where I had like the main pattern up and then just did a simpler bead along the back. So I would just go to the red line jasper only around the back of the neck. Though I don't like a lot. It will depend on how heavy this is. And as always, guys, unless specifically stated otherwise, the pieces I make are for sale. So if I ever make something that speaks to you, let me know and we will talk afterwards. Or if I made something and maybe I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I completely lost it. Or if you would just like to know where I got certain pieces that I used within a piece of jewelry, let me know that, and I will get that information to you. Okay. I think that I'm about finished. I think that's the length that I would like. So I need to fix the other side. I think it hangs nicely. This looks centered beautifully. Once everything is plastered stuff, the jump ring will sit very nicely on top of the two center 18 karat gold filled spacers down there. I'm going to count how many of these repeats I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to pull off to here. But one of them, like I had a tool, which it probably didn't. But it felt like it did. No, this is definitely a larger donut. So it looks like I did that again. I'm mixing, or I just got some that are not the same size as the rest of them. There we go. That's what we need. Might have just gotten an off one. That was had a bigger hole than the rest of them. Okay. And I need to do a recorded video now that I have the higher speed internet and I have the higher speed or the higher quality cameras, which you guys, all the feedback I've had have been great. Like I said, I want to do a recorded video to see how to see if the quality goes there as well. And if so, and you need cameras, I will tell you, my base camera is a 4K camera. It was $30. I love it. I love it. The camera I'm now using for my Mac camera, I still need to call them so I can zoom in and out with the remote that goes with it while using it within StreamYard. I just haven't done that yet. But that was only $100. And that's actually a tracking, like it has the AI capability to track your face, which would be great if I were doing if I had that camera on my face, it would track my face so that when I start out and I'm more over here and then I move over here, it would move and follow me. I thought it would do that on my mat, given my hands. That's something that I have to go over them when I call them back to see. Because there were reviews that said they use it as a mat cam for tutorials. It wasn't your tutorials, but for another viewer's tutorial, and then there were a lot of likes on that. So I need to find out that when I call them as well, because that would be awesome. I would never go out of frame if that's the case. But again, the camera, $100. The camera remote, $50, a separate purchase. But if you buy it at the same time as the camera, you can do a bundle, and then the remote is only $40. Which I'm not a fan of added accessories that, people are going to want the ability to zoom in and out and to change what direction the camera is going and all of that. So, but if it turns out it's not going to work for me, then that can go back. Okay, let me see how many beads I got on this side. I am almost finished. But I'm going to measure this, see where we're at with it all. And like I said, I might just do some spacers with the red line jasper around the edge. So, or some shade, one or the other. But this might end up being a perfectly necklace. No, it definitely needs like 2 repeats on either side. So since it's only 2 repeats, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish it with the pattern all around. Because it's only only a few. But if you were running low or wanted to conserve supplies for like a future project, you could just put like a chain extender on this. I think I'm going to have enough for bracelets and earrings on this. Put this, because I may not use the 6mm, I may use 8mm of the red line. Then again, I might just do the like this really moody one right here as the center, because it's got like bronzes and all kinds of beauty in there. So this one. Catch it up on the other side. I don't know if I just did in 2 repeats or if I only did one. And to end with the red line password. What's that? So what is everybody else working on? Speaking of children, the quality is so much better. That makes me happy. Yeah, my daughter has a couple that she wears all the time. That like, so when she graduated from college, we bought her one of those, like, you see them a lot as like the wedding ring to go with an engagement ring, where it's just a band of tiny diamonds all the way around. We got her one of those when she graduated from college that she wears all the time. And to the point that Jason has said, if when they get married and she wants to put the wedding band on one side and that one on the other side, because the wedding band is very similar but has slightly larger diamonds. He was like, do it. I want you to be happy. She says she hasn't decided yet. She kind of likes it. She wears it on the opposite side hand. So she wears it on her left hand, not her right hand. But also likes the idea that the one is what led her to who she was when they knew each other, but once she was an adult, because he's 4 years older than her. So, there's that little like tricky spot, but yeah. Yeah. I think this going to be enough, but I think I did one more repeat on the one side, not on the other, just fine. Yeah, I like the one more extra repeat. So. One more. Oh, yeah. These glass beads just reminds me of, I think it's called mercury glass. Obviously, that's much more expensive, but like, it's the kind of glass they used to use for mirrors that had more of that like silvery finish to it. Am I thinking of the right thing, Rosanna? Oops, I forgot to put the ball spacer in. And I won't end it with I have a fixer on the other side, but I won't. And it would, I'm not going to gold. I'm going to do a I'm going to crimp it. So the crimp bead will look like, or the knot cover will look like the last gold spacer. So pick that up, make sure, because the coating on this wire does come off. Everything lines up. I'm going to use a knot cover rather than leaving that out. And I found the crimp tubes that came with my magical crimper. I am much like everybody else on those, that soft flex and um the beetle crimps are a better option. I pulled them out because, as you know, I've been using the others. Wait. As like the crimp inside that I just do a flat crimp with, and there's no reason to use those. I don't like to use the very, very, in this instance, I'll say cheap. I don't like to use the just cheap crimps in my closure because they're cheap for a reason. And that metal sometimes will come off. I'm going to go in and switch the ball to help the holes line up. And then I'll go to the other side. Oh, see, now that jump ring did jump over. Okay. You get where you're supposed to be. Because if you're not going to stay put, I will put a different one on. Yeah, that looks okay. I wasn't sure if I liked the tiny daisy spacer up against the knot cover, but I don't. I mean, I do like it. So. So in case, and then I was letting gravity do its work. Something I learned from Rosanna and Randy. And then I lay it down and kind of let it naturally coil. That way I don't have a gap, but it's not like crazy. Do tug tests. We're good. We can go in. If this will start tracking my hands, oh my gosh, can you imagine? Okay. Put my findings on now. I don't know why I can turn this off. I'm not sure that works. We've been on for an hour 45 minutes. I can do the bracelet and earrings tomorrow, or if everybody's just meeting and enjoying conversation, I can do them today. Either way is fine. If some of you would like to see what I do, I can always wait until tomorrow. Choose the smaller sticker to attach my clasp and then the long one. That's what it attaches to. This is where we have the side. It feels like I have one too many lids, which never happens for me. So I got a little confused with the spacer. Okay, there we go. These are just the round hole staplers. Those have their like own stuff. So this goes on this one. Okay. Everything makes sense again in my way. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, this one has a little bit of a gap. So I'm gonna try to center that in amongst the notches. I try to do it whenever I can beforehand, but sometimes it's easier to do after the fact. There, that was enough. The gap is on. This is an 18 karat gold plated clasp. It's a double loop. So if something were to happen and one loop failed all of a sudden, your necklace is still secure because you have the other loop. These I'm almost positive are not ones I got from Randy because I think these are 18 karat gold filled because they're very solid. They're not going anywhere. It's with like I believe 18 gauge wire, if not 16 gauge wire. So, do you want to do the bracelet set tomorrow? I do smash my crimps in this instance. Only when I'm using a knot cover because obviously I can't get down inside the knot cover to do a proper crimp on the other side. So I don't know why I don't still do it, but it felt a little unfair or something. I don't know why I haven't done it, but so I flat crimp, but I always do a tug test. Always. And I prefer to use, like I said, I don't want to use cheap crimp like the ones you can get thousands of for pennies. Like I don't want to use those because again, they are inexpensive because that they're inexpensively made as well. So yes. You have Caleb this afternoon. Okay, hon. That's fine. Yes, an eternity band. Thank you, Cheryl. That is what the ring is. Ooh, who does Renee have visiting her? I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Your daughter is here. Aw, fun. Okay. It does work well, but I like smush it a couple of times. And then I do a tug test. And if there's any movement at all, I either squish it again and retest. If I can't get it to make a tight where I don't feel any movement at all, and I don't pull lightly, I do a tug test. Um, then I will cut off the crimp and replace it with a different crimp. So, well, if people, ooh, you can make mercury glass using vinegar, you think. That might be something I'm going to have to try. I'm going to be doing some small, or not small, some short videos. I'm going to try my hand at TikTok, guys. Might be crazy, but it's what everybody tells me I need to, especially Miss Miranda. So I'm going to do a series of videos for there that will also come to my channel and be posted as shorts doing my Heather's how-tos. So, and no, yeah. So I will be doing those if I can figure it out. If I can't, I'll do them as shorts on YouTube only, and it will be fine. But I like the way that it turned out. I like the little like break with the larger bead right there. It's not a lot, but it's enough that it's a change, so it draws the eyes up because then the brain's trying to figure out what's different within the pattern. So I will save and do the bracelet and the earrings for tomorrow. We've been here for almost 2 hours, and I do want to make this phone call so I can provide you guys with the best picture quality, which will be me being able to zoom in and out faster. Though these cameras, when I bring it up to the camera, it looks way clearer and more visible than it ever did on the camera I was using prior. I always had to zoom down to the mat to get a clear shot than of me bringing it up to the camera. So that's good. But I'll probably use it if I have to travel and want to create, but I'm not for sure about that either. I might just record with my phone at that point because it has the better camera. But I hope that all of you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. If you guys ever have any questions or whatnot, feel free to let me know. Reach out to me on Messenger, or you can tag me in a post in Beading Besties. I hope all of you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And the schedule changed. So Nick or Dominique will not be doing Tuesdays and Thursdays anymore. Tuesdays and Thursday morning. She's going to be going Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So figure out what that time zone is for you. It would be 4 for Mountain, 5 for Central, 6 for Eastern Standard Time. Then those are hers on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will not be doing regular Tuesdays and Thursday lives. I may pop in here or there. I just don't want to commit something that I may not be able to do. So if I can do it, I will be there. If I can't, then you'll see me the next time. Wednesdays, we're going back to evenings with our Wednesday wind down or wind down. That way, those people who are working during the day can still have more than one chance where they get to comment back and forth in the live with us. They do so on Sundays, but again, I try to have a guest then, so some people were real comfortable asking like questions they wanted to ask me while there was a guest on. So that will be what Wednesday nights is for. All right, I've said goodbye enough times. Happy beading, everybody.